I'm audible, right? Yeah. Good morning. Here's very good morning. Kava. Good morning. Right? Okay, fine. So see, now first of all, newspaper, as we had mentioned, we will discuss some more things day by day with respect to strategy of newspaper. See, many articles in the newspaper will be repeating. Many articles in the newspaper will be repeating. Say for example, since 1 month, if you are following the newspaper, you will be understanding that Iran-Israel issue is going on, keep on going on. There are n number of articles on nuclear energy, right? So, if you had done the things once, it is fine. You need not do ball by ball commentary each and every time. Just there will be an updation. For the last day, you can have a look, right? It will be waste of time for yourself. Now already you are attending the class, that will be more than sufficient. Now how to proceed further, notes and all we can discuss in the meantime. Okay. Now see, for example, yesterday we told that Trump, we had discussed this Iran blockade, Strait of Hormuz. Now there we had also mentioned that yesterday Trump will be having the talks with Iran. Now the update of that is that Iran undecided on talks, Trump to keep blockade, the page number 1. That means Iran didn't accept for the talks, right? That means this blockade of the Strait of Hormuz will be continuing for some more days. And even Trump told that if you are not willing to change anything now, we are ready for the blockade, right? That is the thing. You need not delve into details further. You know that Strait of Hormuz is the linkage between, we had discussed yesterday, Strait of Hormuz is a linkage between Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Here we will be having Oman, Iran. This is important. Now what is meant by strait? Which connects two water bodies, right? Good. Next. Page number 1, entire politics. Now see, in the last right side bottom of the first page, temperatures above 44 degrees centigrade in 5 districts. Temperatures above 44 degrees centigrade in 5 districts. Now what is the thing over there? See, now that is not important, but the thing is that that is related to a topic called as if there is more heat, that means in the summers we will be having more heat, we will be facing any problem? Obviously sunstroke. You might have seen many old people have died in sunstroke, or say when even young people when playing cricket in mid summers, they might have faced some problems, right? Now, so this amounts to a topic called as heat wave. This is important for us in disaster management. As we know, we had seen yesterday in GS3, we will be having a topic called as disaster management. Now in that disaster management, heat wave is a topic which will be discussed under disaster management, right? Now see, this heat wave, first of all, what is the condition to call a heat wave? That means obviously see, normal time also we will be having the heat. Specifically, if I am calling a specific temperature as heat wave, that means we are having National Disaster Management Authority. National Disaster Management Authority, you will be seeing this in your polity. This authority is responsible for disasters across the nation, managing the disasters, create cheyadani kaadu, managing. This authority is responsible for managing the disasters. Now what type of disasters you might have heard? See, I can divide the disasters into, yeah, good morning, man-made and natural. Natural means, say for example, cyclones, floods, volcanoes, landslides, all these are natural. Man-made are, say, dam disasters, firecrackers, right? All these are man-made disasters. Now National Disaster Management Authority had given guidelines for each and every disaster. Okay, now say for example, if a state has to manage that disaster, it will be making the use of those guidelines. Based on those guidelines, states will be implementing. Now, if you see any time a disaster happens, say in Andhra or Telangana, say in Andhra you might have seen CBN Garu in the forefront. CBN I meant by Chandrababu Naidu Garu in the forefront. Now in Telangana the CM will be in the forefront. The reason is that they have the responsibility to do. Why? See, disasters, any type of disasters in the country are managed by National Disaster Management Authority. Now supporting to that, remember, any activity in the country must be based on an act which is made by the parliament. For disaster management, we had an act called as Disaster Management Act 2005. Based on this act, this National Disaster Management Authority has been created. National Disaster Management Authority has been created. Now this will be headed by Prime Minister at the national level. Under this, we will be having State Disaster Management Authority headed by Chief Minister. That's why CMs will be at the forefront in the management of disasters. They have the responsibility and duty, right? Now, at the district level, we will be having District Disaster Management Authority. Who will be head? You, right? Probably, right? District Magistrate or DC, right? This is the governance mechanism for handling the disasters in our country. Now, they had guidelines for everything. As per them, I can call a specific heat as the heat wave, specific temperature as the heat wave. Say for example, in the plain areas, if it crosses 44 degrees centigrade, in the plain areas, say in normal plateau type of areas, 40 degrees centigrade. If it is mountainous areas, hill areas, temperature should cross 37 degrees centigrade. If this crosses at least 5 days together, then we can call it as heat wave. This is the official definition, right? Understood? Now, one more thing, please. Yeah. One more thing you need to understand with respect to this disasters is that, see, these disasters which we are talking, obviously when disasters will be happening, there will be lot of economic and human loss. You might have seen many people dying. Did they done any mistake? Innocent people are dying because of nothing with them. So it is a duty on the government to help them. For that, we are having fund called as National Disaster Response Fund and State Disaster Response Fund. This are also created by Disaster Management Act. Now, why I am telling this at this juncture is that funds from these funds, money from these funds, in these NDRF and SDRF, we will be having money. We can use money from this only if Government of India notifies a specific disaster as a notified disaster. That means, say for example, because of cyclones, many people had died. They can get compensation from this NDRF or SDRF only if cyclone is mentioned as a notified disaster by the Government of India. Why I am telling this now? In India, heat wave is not considered as a notified disaster. If someone dies because of excessive heat, like sunstroke, they won't be getting any compensation. Understood? Right. Say for example, in Hyderabad, you might have seen in peak rainy season, waters will be going into the homes in downward areas. At the time, government will be compensating them. How they will be compensating is that they had the duty to do this under this. But heat wave is not a notified disaster in our nation at the national level. If states want, states can announce as a notified disaster only in that specific state. Then only they can use this SDRF fund. but money from this NDRF can be used only if it is a notified disaster at the national level. Understood? This is the entire discussion with respect to disasters. Fine. Now this can be asked in the prelims examination, and mains you will, in your geography and disaster management, you will be learning separately with respect to every disaster. Every year we will be getting one question for sure in GS3 with respect to disaster management, and that will be very easiest. Okay, fine. So since we have discussed this, what could be the reason for this heat wave? High heat? Tell me a major reason in urban areas, urban heat waves. See, you might have seen when you will be going to any villages, it will be relatively cooler, but in urban areas it will be hotter. What could be the reason for it? Tell me the reasons. Say, consider this as a question in the UPSC mains. They are asking, chart out the reasons for heat waves, rising heat waves in the country. There will be natural reasons and anthropogenic reasons. Natural means because of God. Anthropogenic means humans. Now tell me the anthropogenic disaster reasons. Good. See, that is called as concretization. Urban areas are becoming concrete jungles. Now what is the reason? See, if this is the land, this is the land, generally these lands will be having emitting capacity. Now soil and all will be emitting the things properly. This is called as albedo effect. We will be learning in our geography. Now what had happened? We are using extreme concrete. These will attract the heat. This is rising the heat in a specific area, and further we are increasing the greenhouse gases. We know that greenhouse gases will be capturing the heat. Now when earth will be emitting the heat in return, here our greenhouse gases are there, carbon dioxide, NOx and all. These will be capturing that heat. That will make global warming. This is called as global warming, right? Now because of global warming, concretization, and further many more things, there is rise of heat waves. Heat waves are very, very problematic. We know. See, now consider this class in this heat without these ACs. Right. Now I will tell them tomorrow to switch on ACs half an hour before, so that by the time you will get at least somewhat better. Your next class is also in the same classroom. I will tell them. Right. Now our productivity will be reduced. Next, further, what had happened? Heat wave, how we will be affected? Even plants and animals, they are also living organisms. For example, in 2022, India had faced wheat shortage, WHEAT. The reason is that in 2022 there is high heat wave. Because of that heat wave, production of wheat reduced in the country. Understood? There will be suitable climate conditions and temperature conditions. So heat wave has many problems economically, strategically, and our resources will be of wasteful. Right? This is about heat wave. Clear, everyone? Yeah. Next. See, in this page number 3, you have an ad here. This is an ad between Government of India and South Korea. Government of India, Prime Minister of India, President of South Korea. Everyone can see. Now this is an advertisement. The reason is that this person is Jindal. You might have heard Jindal Steel. He is the chairman of Jindal Steel, and this person is Chang In-hwa. You need not remember the names. He is the chairman of POSCO Steel. This is an international steel. Now both of them are coming together to establish a steel plant in Odisha. One of the largest steel plant in Odisha. Right. Now what is the thing we need to take here? First you need to accept that. That means foreign companies can invest in India, right? And if they have to invest, that means they can own the land. That means foreign players can buy the land in India. This is a PYQ of 2024. It says that whether in prelims, foreigners can buy the land or not. Obviously, many foreigners are having lands here, right? If some Kia car company had a plant in Ananthapuram, that means they own that land, right? Right. Of course, there could be also lease. I can accept that, but we are allowing them to own the land. Now, what is the take we need to take here is that foreign countries, foreign companies can invest in India through a mechanism called as foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment. They can invest in the country, say from 10% to 100%. They can own the entire thing. Now, if you see that advertisement, it says that 50-50 joint venture. 50-50 joint venture. That means 50% will be of JSW, 50% will be of POSCO. This is called as joint venture. Two people are coming together. Now, here it is 50-50, so we can keep the name anyways. Say for example, JSW POSCO, the steel plant name. But say for example, have you seen Starbucks? Now, the name of Starbucks is Tata Starbucks actually. This is a joint project between Tata and Starbucks. If the name Tata is in the beginning, it means it is having great share, 51%. Swaraj, this Maruti Suzuki. Maruti is of Indian, Suzuki is of foreign, Maruti is having more share. Okay, so the idea line here is that there will be different models of FDI. The related concept here is a thing called as FPI, Foreign Portfolio Investment. Here in this FDI, mainly the companies are coming and investing, they are creating some resources, industries, they are giving employment. In this foreign portfolio investment, they won't be coming here, they will just give the money. They will invest in the stock market, right? They won't be having physical presence. That means they can go easily. That's why FPI is short term, FDI is long term. Okay, that's what. Next. Page number 9, center top article. ED searches premises linked to Karnataka Congress MLA. Now, I am telling politics is of no use, but the thing here is that there we had mentioning about a body called as Enforcement Directorate. This is important for the examination. Okay. Now, what is this Enforcement Directorate? You will be learning about this even in your internal security and also in your polity also. What is this Enforcement Directorate? You might have seen ED rights. You might have seen this. Now, this ED, what is this? What is the role of ED? The role of ED is to prevent money laundering. What is meant by money laundering? Basically, turning the black money into white money. Have you seen Shivaji movie? In that, what will happen? Hero will be converting the black money into white money, right? Now, that is illegal. Illegal actually. If we are using that for rightful purposes, it won't become legal. It might become ethical but illegal, right? Now, if any person is doing this money laundering, they will be arrested under an act called as Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, who will be having the authority to implement this Prevention of Money Laundering Act? Remember, the thing is that this money laundering cases will not be dealt by the state police. State police. This will be dealt by a separate body called as Enforcement Directorate. Enforcement Directorate. Understood? This Enforcement Directorate got powers under this Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Understood? Now, further, What more thing? See, this can also be asked this year. Lot of news in this year prelims. Say for example, if you go and file a case on someone in the police station, what will be the thing they will be making? FIR, first information report. This is the proof about a case. And now, if it is an ED case, there won't be any FIR. We will be having another thing called as ECIR, Enforcement Case Information Report. Important, Enforcement Case Information Report. Now, what is the difference here? In your polity, have you done article 20 and 22 NCRTs? No? Okay, anyway, now you will be learning over there under article 20 and 22, and even in the movies you might have seen, it is mandatory for the police officers to, if they had arrested any person, they need to produce before the magistrate within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, they need to tell what are the reasons why they have been arrested. They need to give the FIR copy to the families and relatives. All these are applicable for FIR and police. All these are not applicable to ED and ECIR. Right? Of course, this is somewhat against the fundamental rights, but the thing is that we do not want to promote this money laundering. Understood? For that, we had given these strict measures. And one more thing, have you heard about 7th schedule in the polity? Obvious. You know, right? Fine, good. What is this 7th schedule? See, for example, we had created India as a federal country. That means we will be having two different governments, central government and state government. When we are giving two different governments, we need to give works also differently. Otherwise, what is the use? If you are creating the government and if you are not giving powers, it is of no use. So, what constitution had done? There should be any quarrels in the future. So, they had created a schedule called as 7th schedule. Schedule called as 7th schedule. 7th schedule in the constitution. What it will be doing? It will be dividing all the works. Say for example, in the home, if you have to do some works, say I will be bringing groceries, some will be bringing gas, we will be sharing our works. Similarly, these works are fixed. List 1, list 2, list 3. List 1 will be having union list, powers which will be having with the center. State list, list 2, concurrent list on the subjects where both the governments can perform. For example, in list 1, we will be having union powers. That means all activities, if it will be better, if it will be dealt at the national level. For example, defense, foreign affairs, right? So, those type of things will be there in list 1. Things which will be better if they are handled at the local level. For example, Panchayat Raj, law and order, agriculture, all these will be in the 2nd schedule, right? So, in this manner, we had divided the things, right? Next. So, yeah, why I am discussing this? The reason is that as per this list 2, we had police, law and order in list 2. That means state, but for ED, we are giving police powers. ED is a central agency. That means this is a question mark on the federalism of our nation, right? Even in fact, there is a case on this in the Supreme Court, okay? But anyway, but ED is going to stay, not an issue. Understood what I am telling? In the mains, if you will be getting a question, you need to write this, okay? Next. Page number 9 itself, bottom, right bottom, CSIR IICT scientists demonstrate green biofuel route from sugarcane waste. CSIR IICT. See, CSIR IICT is in Hyderabad itself, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. Now, what is the news over there? They had created biofuel. They had created biofuel from sugarcane waste. Now, what is the thing we need to take here? This is very, very important for the examination. See, this is related to a topic called as biofuels. Fuel means which we will be using in our vehicles and all. Now, bio, if the fuel is made from a living organism or once-lived organism, those are called as biofuels, and this fuel must be made in the short span of time. Those are called as biofuels. Now, why we are pushing these biofuels? The thing is that in our vehicles we will be using petrol and diesel. First thing is that to make them we need to import crude oil. We do not have crude oil. Consider this case now, because of the Gulf crisis we are seeing rise in the prices, rise in the crude oil prices, gas prices and all. If we are able to produce our own oil, we will be insulated from them, and further to import these things we need forex reserves. That is an additional burden. In fact, because of lack of forex reserves itself, India had faced balance of payment crisis in 1991. This might be difficult to understand as of now, but in your economic classes you will be understanding it in detail. Okay? India had faced a problem with because of there are less forex reserves. Now, if we have to import more petrol, gold and all, we need more forex reserves. Rather than that, if we are having an option to produce on our own, it will be beneficial. And also you know that crude oil will be releasing greenhouse gases, NOx, carbon dioxide, that leads to increase in greenhouse gases, global warming, climate change. So we want to find an alternative for it. We had found out the alternative in the form of biofuels. You might have heard about E20 vehicles. Yeah, what is that E20? This is nothing but in a petrol, 80 will be petrol and 20 will be ethanol. Ethanol is nothing but a biofuel. Okay. If it is E100, that means 100% ethanol. E50, E85, 85% ethanol and 15% petrol. That means we need not require petrol with that. Now, these are called as biofuels. Now, biofuels are of 4 types: first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. First generation, by how we are having 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G and coming 6G, in the same format, first generation biofuels. You will be learning this in your science and tech and environment also. First generation biofuel means if we are producing biofuel from any edible part of a plant, that means wheat, sorghum, barley, maize, if we are using these crops to produce the biofuel, it is called as first generation. Instead of that, now there is a problem over there. If we are using food crops, it can lead to food scarcity. So instead of that, if we are using non-edible parts of the plant like stem or agricultural waste, stubble, right, then there won't be any food scarcity problem and farmers will also be getting additional income. Now, if we are making the biofuel from non-edible parts of the plant and agricultural waste, that is called as second generation. Now read that article, the heading, it says CSIR IACT scientists demonstrate green biofuel route from sugarcane waste. So this is a second generation biofuel. Understood? Now there is also a third generation biofuel. It is nothing but, have you heard about algae? Blue-green algae, right? If you go to Indira Park in the starting itself, you will be having on that. Now, if we are making the biofuel from this algae, this is called as third generation biofuel. And lastly, fourth generation biofuel is nothing but if we are modifying the crops. Now, in our biotech class yesterday, we had, in our science and tech demo class yesterday, we had seen this GM crop, BT cotton, that is nothing but a GM crop. If we are making GM crops and using them for producing fuel, those are called as fourth generation biofuel. Understood? So this is very, very important for the examination. Clear? Next. Page number 15, business page. You have class from 8:40. Yeah, fine. Now see, in page number 15, there it mentions draft rules for rollout of ethanol 85 fuel to be notified soon. What is the meaning now? Tell me. in this petrol ethanol, this is called as ethanol blending program. We had blended 85 ethanol. Understood? That means how we had done 20 here, rules had come up for 85. That is the same thing. Next, the central article, center top, core sector activity contracts 0.4% in March on war impact. What is the meaning of this? See, you will be learning this in your economy also. See, for example, if there is rise in the prices, first of all, whether you are performing better or not, we need a measurement for it in your studies. For that, from our childhood, we had created a grade system called as rankings, the useless system. Now, even here also you will be having tests and rankings and all. Now, that is basically a measurement. Now, in the same format, we need measurement of our economic activity. Inflation, the rise in the prices will be measured by CPI, WPI, different measurements. In the same manner, industrial activity in our country will be measured by a metric called as index of industrial production. Index of industrial production. That means how much is being produced by our Indian industry, how much coal is being produced, how much steel is being produced. It will be measured by index of industrial production. Every year what will be the change? We will be measuring this using this index of industrial production. See, this counts all the industries in the country. But we know that among them some will be major industries. Those industries, 8 industries, in these all industries have been identified as major industries, and those are called as core sectors. To find out the growth only in these industries, we had created index of 8 core industries. Index of 8 core industries. Now, these 8 sectors are such important such that these 8 itself will be having a weightage of 40.27% in our IIP. Right? This is also a PYQ. Now, what are the 8 sectors? You need to know these 8 sectors for the examination, and also you need to know what is their weightage in the ascending order. Okay, now, or in the descending order. Now, I have an IP right on this. Eight sectors: refineries, electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement, fertilizers. Basically, the mnemonic for it is rescue concentration of fertilizers. Okay, this is the order. Refineries will be having the high weightage, fertilizers will be having the low weightage. For example, in 2021 PYQ, what they had asked, in this index of 8 core sectors, which is having the less weightage? Once they had asked, which they had given these things and they had asked you to arrange in the order. So, the thing is that rescue concentration of fertilizers, refinery products, electricity, steel. Here you are having 3 C's. So, we are having CO, rescue concentration, CO, crude oil, here coal and less cement, N means natural gas, and F fertilizers. 8 sectors. Here refineries will be having the high weightage, fertilizers will be having the low weightage. IP right on this is for me, for this mnemonic. Okay, fine. Natural gas. That means, see, if you see, all these are very important for our nation. So, these itself will be having 40% weightage in IIP. Now, what is the article C over there? Core sector activity contracts 0.4% in March on war impact. So, what it is telling? This index of 8 core sector had reduced by 0.4%. That means, if earlier the production is 100, now it is 99.6 only. You need not remember these figures. These will be released every month. No use. But the thing we need to remember is the things which we had discussed. Remember, from the paper, we need to have the static linkage. Hindu paper was not created for UPSC. We need to modify that as per our need. Now, who will release this index of 8 core industries? There is a body called as Office of economic advisor under Ministry of Commerce. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This will be releasing this index of 8 core sectors. Right. Now, this IIP, this is a separate measurement. This will be released by National Statistics Office under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay. These are two different things. You need to remember them. Clear? And here IEC, the base year is 2011-12. Here the base year is 2022-23. Base year and meaning enti ante. Now I am telling that 0.4% decline kada in March. I am telling that if I am telling decline, that means I have to compare with something. Here we will be comparing with the base year growth. In the base year, index 8 sector had, if it had 100, this time it had 99.6. Understood everyone? Clear? Now you will be learning all these things in your economy also, but when sir will be explaining, you have to tell in return at that time. Fine? Okay, we can meet tomorrow. And one more thing, thing is that how to do, yeah, in the tomorrow starting I will be telling how to do this notes for current affairs. No, thank you. Understood everything?